Good morning, people. It's Gino here from realeverydayenglish.com. If you are a person who's trying to improve your spoken English and sound like a more natural and confident English speaker, then you are certainly in the right place. I release weekly content to help you just do that. This morning I'm out walking. I'm currently at the side of the canal. You know the canal. I've shown you the canal many times in my previous videos. But just on the other side of the canal, so the canal is on one side, but on the other side of the path, okay, we have the lake, and here we've got some swans. So the swans are the large white birds, and you can see that they're dipping their heads into the water. So the swans are dipping their heads into the water to find, I'm assuming, food. There must be food on the bottom if I just zoom in. And you can see that the swans, they have a lovely curved neck. So the neck is curved. It's a lovely curve. And they have white feathers, but they have a bright orange beak. So the part right on the front of the mouth, I'll just wait for one of them to bring the heads out of the water. You can see they have an orange beak. So the beak is the mouth part, is the front. And then you can see at the back we've got some ducks. So there's a duck. The duck's just swimming along nicely. There's more ducks coming now. They must think that I'm going to feed them. Because people here in the UK, when we walk, we like to feed the ducks. We throw them bread, and they really enjoy it. They really like to eat that. Some people throw them seeds, but they love the bread. So yeah, beautiful day here in northern England. These are the kind of days that I really like. It's winter now, but we're not in the depths of winter, and the sky is pretty much clear. You've got some white clouds up there, but on the whole it's really clear. And these are the kind of days I like. I like to come out walking and just see the beauty of our environment, because the fact is that this is a beautiful country, and because we're autumn at the moment, you can see the trees, okay? So the trees are all yellow, as you can see. This tree here is yellow. Well, not the tree itself, but the leaves. So you can see that the leaves are beginning to change. They're beginning to turn yellow. Look at that, it's beautiful. So this part of the leaf is still green, as it is in summer, and now this is starting to brown and yellow. And eventually what will happen is it'll fall off. It'll fall off. You can see on the floor there's lots of leaves on the floor, and this will get worse over the next few weeks, because what will happen is that all these leaves will fall onto the floor. And you can see across there that the trees over there are actually pretty bare. There's not many leaves on these trees now. They're pretty bare. So let's take a walk down the canal. Let's walk and talk for a little while. I like to just speak to the camera, and you can practice your listening a little bit and see where we get to. So you can see through on the other side of the trees over there, we've got a field, and the sun is somewhere over there as well. You can see the sun just here. The sun's quite bright today. I like the way the sun shines through the branches of the trees. It shines through the branches, and it makes a lovely pattern in the water and the reflection. It's almost, what it is we would describe that as a mirror image, because it literally is. It's just the same thing but upside down. So we call that a mirror image. We're currently just coming through the second lockdown in this country. So all the pubs, bars, restaurants and so forth have all closed again, which is obviously not the best, but we have to focus on what we can control. It's not as bad as the previous lockdown, because this time the schools are still open, so that's one good thing. At least the children can still go to school. Something I want to show you here, through the trees over there, you can see we've got a sheep, this animal here. Wait, where's my finger? There it is. This is a sheep, and the sheep are... The thing is about sheep is that we use the same word whether it's singular or plural. So this is a sheep, okay? A sheep, singular. But we also use the word sheep for the plural. So you could say something like, there are 50 sheep in the field. So we wouldn't say sheeps. No, we don't say sheeps. We use sheep. And you can see that the sheep's quite interested in what I'm doing. He's looking over at us with his ears pricked up in the air. And now he's grazing. He's eating the grass in the field. So when an animal, whether it be a horse, whether it be a sheep, whether it be any animal that is in a farmer's fields, when it eats the grass, we describe that action as grazing. So you could say it's eating the grass, as I just have done, but you won't hear that very often. Very often you'll say, oh, the sheep are in the field and they're grazing, so they're eating. You can see the sheep's still showing his interest. He keeps popping his head up to have a look at what we're doing. So currently I'm stood on the Canal Bank. We use the word bank to describe the side of the canal or a river. So you'll often hear I'm sitting on the river bank, or I'm sitting on the canal bank, and this is the Canal Bank. The Canal Bank is a grass verge, and you can see there's lots of leaves mixed in amongst the trees. So let's continue our walk down the canal path. You can see in the distance, over there in the distance, there's a bridge. I'm still zoomed in, so let's zoom back out. Zoom back out. So let's continue our little walk down the path and see. I can hear the birds tweeting. Listen. Beautiful sound. Beautiful sound. You can't hear my footsteps though. I'm like a twinkle toes. Let's see, if I stamp my feet a little bit, you'll be able to hear my footsteps. There we go. So footsteps, we use the word footsteps to describe the sound from walking, okay? So these are my footsteps. So that's the sound. But we use the word footprint to describe the mark left on the floor by the foot as you walk. So I can't really show you here. Maybe I can show you in the grass. So as I walk in the grass and I flatten some of the grass out, where the grass is now flat, we would say that is my footprint. Probably not the best example at all. So what else have we got? You can see we've got, this is still the lake, but there's lots of trees here. Some of the trees are fallen. It's like a maze. It's like a maze of trees. You wouldn't be able to go through it. You can see there's water, so you wouldn't be able to walk across there. Here we've got something interesting. Somebody has actually carved their name into the tree. So when somebody takes a knife or another sharp object and they cut a piece of the tree to make a letter or a picture or a drawing, we describe that as carving. So somebody has carved their name into the tree, and obviously the name is Katie. So yeah, that's the word to carve. We also use the word to carve to describe when you cut meat, for example. So on Christmas Day, Christmas is coming, it's not too far away actually, here in the UK, and I think in most countries where they celebrate Christmas, it's traditional to have a turkey on Christmas Day. And we also use the word carve to describe cutting the meat. So when you're cutting the turkey on Christmas Day, before you serve it to your guests, you describe that as, I'm carving the turkey. You would never really say, I'm cutting the turkey, although it's grammatically correct to say, I'm cutting the turkey. We wouldn't really describe it like that. We'd say, almost certainly say, I'm carving the turkey, not I'm cutting. It's actually quite cold today. My fingers are starting to get cold, especially because I'm holding the camera. You can see here somebody else has carved the name into the tree. So it's not very artistic, is it? To be honest with you, I'd rather just look at the tree. But unfortunately, that's some people's prerogative. They want to carve the name in trees, so leave them to it. Oh look, we've got a stick. Got a stick here on the floor. It's quite a big stick actually. When people walk the dogs, you'll see that we might come across a dog walker as we're actually walking down the canal. But people like to throw sticks. So I could throw this stick, for example, and the dog will chase it, retrieve the stick and bring it back. Okay? So the dog retrieves the stick, which means it chases after it and then it brings it back. Oh, there's some little metal coin on the side of this. I don't know what that is. It's just a circular piece of metal with the numbers 8842 stamped into it. And you see these things here, these are staples, so it's stapled into the tree. The coin is actually stapled into the tree. Very strange. I don't know what that is, and I don't know why somebody would put it there, but nonetheless it's rather interesting. What else can we speak about Northern England at this time of year? At this time of year, not yet, but in the next few weeks we'll start coming out in the morning to our car being frozen. So what that means is that it gets that cold overnight that when you come out in the morning, all the windscreen is the front window of the car, all that will be completely frozen over. And you've got two options. You can either spray a de-icer on it, which will melt it. You can scrape it with an ice, I don't know what to call it, maybe an ice scraper, something like that, I'm not sure. Window screen scraper, whatever you want to say. But one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to pour warm or hot water onto your frozen windscreen, because the temperature difference can cause the window to shatter. And as it's toughened glass, the glass inside a windscreen is toughened glass, so it will shatter. And the toughening of glass is an interesting process as well. The way that glass is toughened is it's heated up to a very, very, very high temperature. I think around the 700 degrees mark, something around that. And then what it does is, what they do is they cool it down very fast, and all of the tension in the glass, all of that stress is retained into the glass, and it makes it very, very tough to break. But if it does break and all the stress that's in the glass gets an escape point, then the glass just completely shatters. Morning, mate, how you doing?
Are you okay?
Yeah, good, pal, you?
Good on you.
Keep going, pal. That's one of the best things about Northern British culture, is that people you don't know just speak to you. I'm not saying they don't do that down south, but it's more common up in the north. It's one of the things that one of my Spanish friends picked up on when he was here in Northern England. He picked up on the fact that people will just talk to you without any reason. They'll just start talking to you in the street, in the pub, in the shop, even in the toilet. It's just the way things are here in Northern England, and it's one of the things. It's one of the aspects of Northern British culture that I'm really proud of. I'm actually going to be doing a live stream this Sunday, on Sunday, and the topic is going to be British culture. Okay, so in my first live stream, the last one I did, I kind of made the mistake of having a list of phrasal verbs that I was trying to teach you, but it was a bit of a schoolboy error really, because I couldn't really focus on the questions and comments that people were leaving. So this time the topic's going to be British culture, or Northern British culture, and you guys can just ask any questions you want and I'll answer them live. I'll try to, because I have lots of information about this kind of stuff. Good morning, how are you? You good? I have lots of information inside my mind about Northern British culture, obviously, that you guys might want to know, but sometimes it's difficult to make a video on British culture because I don't know what kind of things you're interested in. So the idea is that in the live stream on Sunday, which will take place at 12 p.m. UK time, so that's 12 o'clock lunchtime here, You can just ask me any questions you want to know about British culture, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. We'll see where we go with that one. So I hope you've enjoyed joining me for a little walk down the canal and getting to see some of the environment around here. It's not all like this. I know this looks like I'm in the middle of the countryside somewhere, but that's not the case. It's a built-up area. It's just that there are select places where it is like this. So it's quite the town I live in is quite a big town, but these little routes along the canal and where you can see some fields and trees and nature, it just helps you connect. And to become aware of your surroundings and feel more, connected is the word. Feel more connected with your universe, as I would like to say. So as we go underneath the bridge, you can see that there's some graffiti on the wall. I've taught you what graffiti is before, you already know about that. It's here's one to teach you. So there's a sign here, and it says, "Anglers beware, fishery affected by overhead electrical power lines." Now, the word anglers, it's all right, I can hear you. I can hear your little bell. Couple of cyclists, they're cycling along the canal. So the word anglers is another word for fishers, so people who are fishing on the canal, because down the canal you get people who like to fish and see what fish they can catch. So that's just a sign for the anglers, or the people who fish, that the fishery is affected by electrical wires that run. There's electrical wires on the railway. This bridge is a railway bridge, so there's a railway on top of there, and you can see the power lines. And then power lines are incredibly powerful things. Hey, right pal, I think it's something like, I'm sure it's 10,000 volts, 20,000 volts that run through them overhead cables. So as we're underneath the bridge, you can hear a slight echo. An echo is when you speak, and then you can hear the sound carrying on for longer. So echo, 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 echo. That was a terrible example of an echo. Gino, come on, get yourself together. See some more ducks. They like to swim in the canal. So I think I'm going to end this video at this point. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me on a little walk down the canal. I know there hasn't really been a subject, but it's nice to just join me, and I just waffle onto the camera and you get to practice your listening, and maybe you might learn a thing or two while we're doing it. So until the next time, peace and love. Take care. Bye-bye. Ciao.